February this year, I got involved in an accident, in a car accident, and nothing had ever prepared me for that accident. Not only was my car hit, but also I was financially hurt as well. My insurance was arranged in a manner that I had to pay an excess of 8,000 rand, which I did not have in my account. So I took the credit card. I already had the credit card, rather, so I just went and increased the limits that was on the credit card so that I can be able to pay for the excess. And that was the beginning of a debt cycle that I've battled with this year up until just a few weeks back when I paid off my credit card. Hello everyone, my name is Nono. Welcome to my channel. Please do make sure that you subscribe and you hit the notification button. I would very much appreciate that. So when I first got my car, I told the insurance broker that I wanted my insurance to only cost me 1,000 rand. So what had happened is that I had a budget. I had a budget for the installment of the car. I also had the budget for the insurance and for all the accessories of the car. So my budget was 8,000 rand, and that 8,000 rand was supposed to include it was supposed to include the car installment, the insurance, as well as the trekking company. So I managed to attain that, and but what this meant is that for insurance, this meant that I had to pay, I had to decrease the, for me to decrease the premium of the insurance, I had to increase the excess. So hence that's why I had the excess of 8,000 rand, because I wanted my insurance to go low as it possible could. And I did attain that. Got my car in 2025 around May, and February this year I got an accident. So until February I was just paying my insurance, and going about my day. And so until that time, it it so at the moment when I got the accident, I got confronted by the reality of the fact that I now had to pay this 8,000 rand, which was just a number for me sitting in my account. But now this meant that I had to pay this money in order for them to repair my car. And it was a hoo-ha moment for me, and I had no choice but to go and ask for a credit limit on my credit card. And the mistake that I made there is that instead of quickly trying to pay off the 8,000 that I had taken for the excess, I just relaxed and just let that debt to grow and grow and grow until one day I had a wake up call. So the lessons that I learned from this is that number one, you need an emergency fund. You can budget perfectly, um, but you can budget perfectly for the things that you already know that they are coming, such as your rent, your bills, your groceries, school fees if you have. But nothing can ever prepare you for the things that are not coming. And one thing about life's events, they they don't have timing. They don't care whether you have budgeted or you haven't budgeted. If a life event happens, it happens then and there, and you need to see how you go about dealing with that situation. So if you are choosing a car insurance, don't only ask how much you should pay a month. Yeah? Ask yourself, if something was to happen tomorrow, will I be able to pay this amount, the excess and everything? Is it something that I can be able to pay? For example, insurances, usually when you are negotiating for your insurance, the lower you go on the premium, the higher the excess. And this usually means that they add, up for every 100 rand, for example, it'll add 2,000 rand into your excess. So you need to ask yourself whether the extra 200 rand that you pay into your insurance, which is a total of 2,400 rand, which is about $148, is it is it can it really reduce the potential of out of pocket costs, in case something was to happen. So you need to weigh to say, in as much as you want to save and pay the lowest premium that is ever, do you actually have, the amount of excess, should something happen now as you're driving out of the garage, God forbid, Would you have that money for access? Would you instantly take it out of your pocket and say, "Here it is," or would you be willing to sacrifice an extra 100 rand or 200 rand, or however amount it is, just so that you can reduce, the access? So you need to reflect on that. But what is important is that also don't assume that the higher the premium, the lower the access. Insurance policies differ one to another, so you really need to take your time and really do your research, and even see if they're saying it's comprehensive, see what it really covers, and like really reflect on the differences. I Yes, so the lesson I skipped lesson two, but anyways, up there. So lesson three is that life can change your budget, right? I had budgeted around 1,000 rand, which is around $62 or so, for my car insurance every month. And then suddenly now, after the accident, I was told that I needed to pay 1,500 rand a month. They had done some reflections, recalculations, and had decided that I had to pay 1,500 a month. That was 500 rand that I didn't have on my spreadsheet or anywhere else. I had to go and look for that 1,500. And being financially responsible isn't just having a budget, it's about having enough flexibility in your finances to absorb change. That one is self explanatory. So, my reset, so as I do my financial reset, one of the things I'm changing is my mindset. So, I don't just want to survive until payday. I don't want every unexpected expense to become a debt. Just like what I did, I got involved in this thing that I did not expect at all, which needed money, and because I did not have emergency funds, I had to dig into credit. And I'm asking myself right now, what would have happened had something again happened, had my children got sick during that month? What was I going to happen? It means I was just going to find myself drowning in debt. So I've really reflected about that to say I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I want to have some breathing room within my finances so that I can have a peace of mind. I want my emergency fund to eventually be able to handle those unexpected moments. It's not there yet. It's still very small. I just started it a month back, so it's still growing. And I pray to God that nothing major happens as I'm growing my emergency fund. And also, I want my money to have a job before life gives it one. So I do not want to have those predicaments that come and then suddenly I'm forced to redirect my finances or take debt just because I now have, just because life has given me a job for my finances. So because February taught me something as well, you don't build an emergency fund without, because you expect an emergency. Sorry, you don't build an emergency fund because you expect an emergency. You build one because life happens, right? And if you are watching this and you don't have an emergency fund yet, please do not feel bad. You can start small, start with 100 rand, 200 rand, 500 rand, 50 rand, even however much you can start with, because also emergencies are not the same. And I believe if you have, even if it's just 500 rand in your account and something comes, at least you have some way to start as opposed to digging or into debt. So whatever you can afford, because something is better than nothing, as I said. And please also, if you have a car, review your car insurance, look at your premium, look at your excess, and ask yourself, if I had an accident tomorrow, could I actually afford my excess? I beg you guys, please do not be like me. As a matter of fact, if you are buying a new car, I would rather you just have savings. You have at least 10,000 rand that you put aside, which are just for your access, or you already have an emergency account in place and you have that fund that is there, that you know that if something was to happen tomorrow, then you could actually afford your access. I learned this the hard way, and now I'm trying to make sure that I never have to learn it the same way. And I pray that God could protect me, drive with me, protect me on the road and in life, basically, so that I do not have to deal with something like that as I am building my emergency account. Now, remember also, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I simply share life advices based on my experiences, the lessons that I've learned, the lessons that I'm learning as I'm growing. My friend used to like to say, you learn as you grow, and indeed, that is true. I never thought I'd find myself being involved in an accident one day. I always thought because I'm a slow driver, nothing was going to happen to me. And this incident just taught me that no one is immune to life. Life happens, and we need to always just find ways to maneuver around it. And please remember to subscribe to this channel, and also please hit the notification button so that we can grow and learn together. Until next time, bye.